Welcome to the Heavyweight Podcast.
The message behind saying the title The Heavyweight Podcast is to be able to say that we can weigh in on some heavy shit. You know, what we're talking about is important from every aspect of it. It's a heavy weight. It's not just about physical weight, but the weight of things that can weigh our minds. So I think it's dope that we can have this conversation. What's good? This is episode 140 of the Heavyweight Podcast. I am Studden McFly, your anti-social host, back with this lady and these three guys. Go ahead and state your name for the beautiful people out here.
Homie in the hat. Curious George. It's your boy Molito. Homie in the hat. It's your boy Molito the Grouch.
Hey, what's up? They call me Hunter.
Oh, you switched it up.
What's up, everybody? I'm your girl, Daz the Diva.
What were your weeks like?
Hilarious. Go, Kevin.
Curious Jorge, by the way. We keep it ethnic. Anyway. my week was quiet. Rain makes work slow, so that's nice. And, gearing up for Easter. And I'm not hosting. So, yay.
My week was good. I went and saw Dion Cole after the pod last week. Hilarious. I'm preparing because this weekend is a anniversary in a couple of days. Me and the wifey. So I guess I'll do something first. I guess I'm doing something for her.
He says that and they do anniversary weekends.
So I'm gonna take her out. We're gonna do something. Might get a little.
You rent a yacht?
No, I'm definitely gonna go get some ocean view trim.
Oh Lord!
I'm gonna have her over somebody's balcony. So I'm waiting for that. That's what's up.
I love that for her.
Zoom in my face at that point.
I love that for her.
Oh, man, my week was nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm so glad about it, too. Yep.
Okay. That's
No,
it.
you know what? I'm glad about not being out. When you go out, you spend money.
That is true.
That is-
Spend way too damn much
We're
money.
not gonna talk about how much money I spent the last couple of weeks.
I mean, you can stay home on a weekend and save a couple $100.
Yeah, I don't want to think about
Couple thousand.
Oh, we ain't rich like you.
You know what we need for him?
Ooh.
Slow clap.
Look, I don't got no kids. I ain't.
You want some?
No.
You can go down to Orb. They got, they hand them out down there.
I'm happy with my life, I'm glad I ain't got to do all that running around with kid crap.
It's fun.
No, it's not.
I enjoy it.
Been there, done it.
Yeah,
I was going to say something really.
But you wasn't making the kind of money you make now when you had a kid. It'd be different now.
No, I know. It was harder.
It'd be
It was-
different now.
You ever seen that documentary, Natalie Speaks?
Uh-uh.
It's about a little woman.
No.
She got adopted.
Uh-uh.
Height-wise, I mean, you'd be like, man, she's in my height. That'd be you'd adopt her and, you'd be a good father for her, I think.
That's your week.
Anyways.
That's your week. I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, my head went somewhere else. It's like, wasn't we talking
You
about
talking about
Nickelodeon
kids
last
and
time?
adoption, and I thought height. Anyway, I'm just weird. Go ahead.
My week was uneventful. It was cool. I was just chilling all week long.
Your week McFly?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm chilling. I just I'm good to be here. I'm happy to be here. Yeah. Other than that, the week was work, and hopefully I'm going to see Ghostbusters this weekend. Hopefully,
Ghostbusters.
There's a new one?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to watch Roadhouse. They redid Roadhouse.
I watched Roadhouse yesterday.
Mm-hmm. What is it on? I don't know.
Prime.
Okay. Oh, well, I ain't got that.
I ended up watching my wife started watching that Aquaman movie. The second one.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought they had replaced Shit Girl.
No, they didn't replace her. They cut her screen time down severely.
Oh, okay. I said, damn, there goes Shit Girl.
It was almost as if there was no mother for the child.
Oh, okay.
That's
okay.
what
It's like when a job they don't want to fire you, so they cut all your hours the way you want to quit.
You could tell she was supposed to be in the movie way more than she was.
I was like,
and they just cut it all the way down.
Okay. I was like, damn, look at Shit Girl.
They trimmed the fat.
I like the fact that I call her Shit Girl.
Who is it?
Amber Heard.
I don't want to say her name.
Oh, I got you. I was like, Shit Girl, is that an actual character?
Right, that's what
her
was
character. I was like, oh, okay, so she's supposed to be the queen of. Okay, that didn't happen. They cut her screen time all the way down. I was like, damn, Jason Momoa was a good single father, man. Like he's doing all this by himself. It's amazing. Like
he's working hard.
But anyway, let's go into the shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
So we're going into what's your thoughts? Let's talk about it. What is it like being a step parent, and how do you handle discipline?
Oh, I will go first.
I mean, I can't go.
Is it just me and you?
No, Kevin.
Kevin's a step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I love being a step parent. In the aspect of I love my bonus child. We don't call him step. He's my bonus child.
That's what's up.
Love him to death. But the aspect of having to co-parent with someone else, I don't think if I had thought that through, I don't think I would have chose that for myself.
Mm.
It's difficult. You're essentially trying to love a child like your own, at least in my case, when one of the parents wants you to leave their child alone. So as far as discipline, I let my husband do it. That's his son. I have no need to put my hands on him. I wouldn't put my hands on anybody else's child. If he was mine, I wouldn't want anybody putting their hands on him. If I see him obviously doing something dangerous, I definitely correct him and redirect him, but I don't really say too much to him.
That's a mom term. Correct and redirect.
No, actually, I work with children in the ABA with the autism, and he has autism, so we redirect and correct him at our house.
Somebody need to redirect that nigga right there.
I do think he needs ABA.
He
I think
right
he
there.
does.
Yeah, he do.
I think so.
He
Just
need-
kidding. Just messing with you.
I mean, you can always adopt.
I understand that, and I thought about it at a time, but now, no, hell no.
He needs
Too
to
old.
he needs to raise himself first.
I'm too old.
You at your prime time. You
No,
can
I'm not.
vacation and
And I ain't gonna be like these fools running around with kids and everything.
no,
Oh,
that's
we're
what I'm saying.
fools
You're
now.
at the perfect time to be in vacation, go out,
Oh, yeah,
ain't gotta have no
exactly.
kids,
Exactly.
do what you want to do.
Gunshot.
You at the
I
great
did my
time
time.
of
I
life
did
for
my
that.
time.
Yeah.
Gunshots.
You know.
You gotta have friends to do that.
Pew, pew. Oh.
You know what? That don't bother me either because
I'm messing with you.
friends is a weird thing nowadays, anyways.
Ooh, tell me about it.
You know. But yeah, it made me ask because when with my stepson, when he would do something, I didn't like discipline him, like whoop him or anything. I'm more of a popper. You know, you acting up, and my wife is like, don't hit him. I'm like, but you ain't doing nothing. Just like something. But she was always, don't hit him, don't touch him and everything. But then she would never discipline him either. So, and I got to a point where I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do?
Do you feel like you help, like, with your coming in and, like, popping them, you help, like, kind of, like, maybe steer them down a better path?
It was more of I don't know that because I think you could take a wrong path in life and just end up anywhere. But it was just the fact that you understood there was something for your consequences.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Like if you do something stupid, you act stupid in the checkout line. I didn't whoop right in the little back of the head. They check yourself real quick.
Where was his father?
Wow, that's
Well, I mean, was he present?
no, not at all.
Because I just feel like if both parents are present, it's no need for another man to hit your kids.
Right.
Both the parents are present. I call my husband.
Right.
At one point, I would call his mama if he was acting up. Your son on the phone.
And that's what I was talking about, that weird dynamic of you being a parent to a stepson, because it also is, you got to look at them as your own child to an extent too. So you try not to treat them no different than you would treat your own kids, but you can't because they're actually not your kids. Unless you have a long-term, you've been in that relationship for at least a while.
Well, let's ask Kevin his thoughts. I feel like he has great insight on this topic. Kevin?
I mean, I understand where people are coming from. I don't necessarily completely roll that way with the discipline part and all that, just because.
I mean, we talked your stepchild,
I know. I'm talking about
your bonus kid.
Yeah, I'm talking about Because I'm like, in a certain sense, when you're in a household, that's the household. Like, that's what it is. Like, in the space of treating someone different, I'm not going to treat you different than I'm going to treat the other kids. So you're going to get the same treatment as them. I don't necessarily do spanking. I'm good at thumping with the thumper.
And I'm a popper.
Yeah, so I've done that when she was younger because she was only child, mad spoiled, and didn't understand the.
So, like the same question I asked him, do you feel like that helped direct her down a better path because you kind of came in and was like, let me kind of change it up a bit, switch it up a little bit?
Oh, I don't think she was on a bad path. She was just spoiled. Like
Yeah,
that, she was going to change at some point with the kids too.
Yeah.
But I think it more opened my wife's eyes more because it's coming from a point of where she was at. She didn't necessarily see it like that. So as it came to where like, well, that's a lot. Like, so it's like, oh yeah, you're tripping. So it's like, I think in that regard, she had her so young. She was trying to do everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it got to a point where it's like, now she's getting older. You can't do it all the time. You can't do like Christmas. Apparently that tree used to be like, you're like, that's too many.
She came even play with all that shit at one time.
Yeah. Like when, I guess that was a pretty valuable one there was when we moved into the house. Like for her birthday, she had been promised like a cruise for pretty much forever, like a Disney cruise. But I was like, well, we about to buy a house. We ain't doing no damn Disney cruise. You have to explain to her, we're getting a house. She's not going to understand it right now, but in the long run, she'll go, that's way better than this cruise. Maybe later we'll take it. Who knows? Or I'll take it when I'm older. So those types of things I think will hopefully, as she gets older and looks back and sees those things, did something. But as for me with the discipline, like I said, we're here. Like I don't know. I feel like I don't have to call. We have a good relationship with her father and stepmother, so I think that's key. We try to discipline together. Like with school, like if she's here and she's grounded, when she goes there, she's grounded.
I love
So it's
that.
like it stays the same. It's like instead of trying to play us, it's like, nah, you messed up. Like just because you're not over there, you're still grounded.
Did you get to that kind of that understanding fast, or was it somewhere it took time?
Well, luckily that was established in between them because they had their shit where it was bad at the beginning, and then they had to do the working out to make it where it's like, nah, we have to work this out if we're going to co-parent. So luckily that was worked out. And then when I came in, it was not like I was like we all met and everything.
Mhm.
It wasn't like one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, this is just what it is. We're going to eat dinner and shit and like meet each other and stuff. So, okay. So I guess yes, because I don't know how other people's scenarios go.
I mean, it's a thin line. It really is. There's a you're dealing with the emotions of the mother or father in a situation. You're dealing with a time situation in there. You're dealing with how much they actually trust you to make that judgment to also discipline their own kid too. There's so many different levels in that, and it gets blurred, and some people go overboard, and some people don't do enough, and it's a hard situation when you have a stepkid because when it's yours, you feel I can do what I need to do.
Yes.
But when it's not, you're like, okay, let me reserve my judgment a little bit and let me approach it trying to have a different way. But
I feel like if it's just to putting hands, like spanking and stuff, you just find an alternative way.
Yeah, because I do discipline my steps. I don't believe in hitting kids, period.
Right.
I'm not gonna hit nobody. But I do correct
Can't co-sign that.
You ain't got to.
I can't co-sign. I don't hit my child, but I will fuck up another kid.
I'm definitely not hitting nobody's kid.
But shit.
You going to jail?
It also depends on like you said, it depends on the dynamic of the structure because I don't know what it would be like if I had a different counterparts in terms of his mother. I don't know how I would behave in that instance. My husband popped him and she called CPS.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I don't want to involve myself that deep.
Yeah.
right.
It's
And
not
then-
a good scenario.
We gonna be in jail.
And then you also had a whole, is it a boy or girl?
He's
Because
a boy.
no, I'm talking about when you come to
That
discipline
does
it.
make
Because
that does
if
make a huge
you're
difference.
a stepfather and you now have a stepdaughter that's a girl, a stepdaughter, you're gonna have to learn how to navigate too. Because if you don't have any kids yourself, you're now introduced to trying to be that. I ain't gonna say that father figure, but be that male in that life, but treat them the way they are and not be an ass.
Mhm.
You know, because you don't know how to raise a kid on your own.
Yeah.
You know,
I would think in that situation, whether her father is there or not, you're still you're still a male figure,
Right.
Because you're going to be around often. So
Mhm.
And I actually had a conversation as I got older, or she got older with that, where I'm just like you gotta understand, you're my first kid, like period. So I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm trying to learn. So if I'm doing some shit that is out of whatever makes you feel a certain way, you have to tell me. You know what I mean? Like we have to still have communication. Like as she's becoming a teenager, or not becoming, being a teenager, much different. Like that's just what that is. But I feel like that's important. Like when things like if we have tension, I always try to wait till it's like at a calm down moment and then go have an honest conversation.
Mhm.
And like I think that's important because at the end of the day, they're still an individual. Like she's at that age now where it's like you're an individual, you're still a kid, but you're like I'm talking to you. So
Yeah. And with my stepson, it's the same thing. We have honest conversations, and you can tell where he kind of listens to me a little better than he listens to everybody else
Yeah.
naturally, as opposed to him listening to maybe his mom who hits him out of fear.
yeah,
It's different.
I mean, I could tell kids definitely gravitate to where they feel safe. So they take discipline from a person who they feel safe with a lot better than they would
Yes.
someone they don't feel safe with.
Absolutely.
And it's always apparent that they like, yeah.
well, I'm definitely not the fun baby.
like I said, even now after 23 years, I don't even call him my stepson. You know me, I just say it's my son.
Yeah,
You know, because I feel like you passed that stepfather phase or whatever when you've been in somebody's life for so long as a parent. You know, it's like, when are you gonna stop saying it?
Do you think it's wild that your sons technically have the same name?
Oh yeah, no, it gets worse because the wife's in there too.
Oh yeah, because Andrew and Andreas are the one's the variation of the other. So like
Mhm.
I think that's crazy when you said. I'm like,
And then my wife's name is Angie, and my baby's mama's name is Amy.
so you just aid out. You're
Yeah.
just aid out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's.
mm-hmm.
This nigga, he got a tight.
Ace.
So I guess to continue that
I don't like
sentiment,
You don't like it?
do you
Nah,
feel or
it's-
think or do you have the relationship with your parents like they want it with you?
You guys comment on that. I asked that, but there's a reason why.
Why?
It's more of since I've been on both sides of it, you know, because I understand I can wonder what my mom wanted, but then I can also see how my kids are too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say I'll wait for you guys to say that, because I live in both that dynamics where it's just, I don't really know how to explain it. So talk on it.
So you're asking, do we have the relationship with our parents wanted to have with us?
Mhm.
Yes, that's the question posed. So I must to break down. It's like, do you have the relationship with your parents that and still also have that relationship with your kids that your parents wanted with you? So like if you were a certain way or your parents wanted to be a certain way with you, or have that open dialogue like we were talking about, do you feel you have that same relationship now with your son? So like the conversation as far as, like, for instance, with me, I'll use me as an example. I feel like I do have that relationship with my kids that my dad had with me. So when I talk about being able to come to me and talk to me about whatever, in any type of way or perspective, if they and not be judged, I have that open dialogue with them. Then they know dad's not going to judge them. They know dad has their back. And I feel like I do have that same relationship with my kids that my dad had with me.
Oh, that's what y'all mean.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like me with my mom, I can't speak on how my mom wanted our relationship. You know, you want to be a certain way with your kids, and I don't have that ability to even ask or even know even what it is. But when you're a kid, you don't see that aspect of it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see your parents trying to be with you, hold a relationship, do everything, because they're your parents. But then when you get older, you're like, holy shit, I'm literally trying to do the same thing with my kids, but your kids are kind of like, no. You know?
I would just say that, you know, I mean, everybody knows I wasn't necessarily raised by my biological parents, but I can definitely say now in my adult life that they don't have the relationship with me that they would want to have. I do think that they would want to be closer to me, and I just, for my own personal reasons, I just don't. It's not that I don't like entertain them. I don't go out my way to make phone calls and do things right. Now, like I said, I think I talked to my dad like 2 weeks ago, and he called me, right? And I think before that I couldn't tell you the last time I talked to him. And I talk to my mom occasionally, because she always calls to talk to my daughters. I always talk to her. But it's like, I know they wish that we were closer, but it's just little things that happen. And I mean, they know what happened. I'm not going to go in detail, but things happen where it's like, you know, but on the flip side of that, my child definitely knows that she can come and talk to me all the time. She calls me all the time, and now she texts me. I know she starts texting me from her mama's phone.
I get you on that, but what I'm talking about is when your kids get older to that point. Now when they're this, they're like they are. But when they get older and they start to pull away, become themselves, you lose that relationship that you do have with them. And then when they hit adulthood,
well,
your daughter can literally be you right now dealing with your dad.
Well, no, not.
No, you can't say that. I mean, because
I don't think that happened because the dynamic is different. I'm with her every day. My dad was not with me. I can count on one hand how many times I remember seeing my dad before the age of 17.
I get that, but I'm saying what I'm saying is your daughter, say for example, your daughter hits 18, pulls away, meets another guy, and then they kind of do their thing.
She's living life. She's doing the same thing I did.
But then she pulls away. But then hold on, I'm saying she pulls away, and then you realize your separation, and then you're like trying to get her, but she's still kind of like.
His daughter's not going to pull away because he set the platform for his daughter.
I get that. But
I understand what you're trying to say, but I think you got to take into account my daughter's personality. My daughter is a very bubbly, cheerful people person who loves to be with her parents. So I don't think that I expect her to pull away, especially in the teenage years and when she gets older, because she wants to experience life. That's expected. But at the same time, I also expect, and I believe what's going to happen is that she is going to call home. She is going to visit home. She is going to feel comfortable calling mom and dad when things are going wrong and be able to express herself and know that she's not going to be judged and knows that she's always going to get help within reason.
Can I chime in on that where I get what you're saying? And that part, I think those are different things. Because I understand what he's saying. I think with the calling and not being judged is different from the pulling away necessarily. Because I got a friend dealing with that now, where it was like, oh shit, motherfucker, I like raised you. We're here together all the time. As soon as you're like on your own, 18, like, well, I only see you when you need something, motherfucker. But I'm like, yeah, that's gonna happen, and it's weird to watch him go through that.
Well, I'm saying like I said, I agree with like the 18 part, because like when I was 18, I want to go visit. That's what I'm saying. I agree with that part. So when she's 18, I expect her to leave and she's going to go experience life and she's going to have boyfriends or whatever. Hopefully boyfriends, whatever. And she's going to do that thing, right? And I'm expecting for those calls to be few and in between. Yeah. I expecting to go from talking to her every day to maybe talking to her once a week. That's expected, but I do understand. On the flip side, once she starts creating her own family, then those calls are going to be more frequent. I think to me, that's just like part of the cycle of life. Yeah. But like, I always say this: just because I don't communicate with you daily doesn't mean we're not close. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I have a friend right now. I haven't spoke to him in a while, but if he's in town next week, it's the day he left. You know what I'm saying? We go right back to it's business as usual. It's like, so I don't think communication necessarily is what keeps the bond close. It's the experience before the separation. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what keeps you close.
The question is, when you talked about your parents, was there ever a time that you were close with them at all as far as growing up?
So, with my dad, no. I was that kid that, like I said, before my grandparents raised me, but I was a mama's boy. I always wanted to be with my mama. Right? Even with all her struggles. So there was times in my life where I stayed with my mom, but it was never for like long periods of time. I always end up back. And I think somewhere around 3rd or 4th grade, I was just permanently with my grandparents, right? Mm-hmm. But even after that fact, I would still go down, spend summers with her. I'll spend weekends with her. I go see her. Even when I graduated high school, I would drive and just hang out with her. You know what I'm saying? Do stuff like that. And then, you know, and I would call her every day. I was that kid that was calling his mom every day. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then, you know, things happen and it's not like that anymore. I mean, you know, she's literally expressed to me like, I miss you doing this. Right. And I, you know, we had a conversation. I said, well, Mom, I used to call you every day and the reaction I got wasn't good for my mental health. So I stopped. And now that I understand, now you realize what you had and you want it back. But like from my own peace, I can't do that. Like now I'm protecting myself. I got other things to worry about. I don't want to be in a bad headspace because I have a family to worry about. So I'm not going to put myself in that situation to, you know, feel not like myself, you know, if you're having a bad day. And then because I know the way I'm going to look at it is if I call one time and I get one old reaction, I'm going to remember all the old reactions. And so then that's going to be like, now it's compounded. So, yeah, so that's why, you know, so the relationship changed. So it's like, if there was a time where we was close, you know, and I used to tell her all the time, like, I'm your only child. I said, I believe I'm your only child that calls you. I don't want nothing. I'm just calling to see how you doing. I'm not asking you for nothing. I'm just saying how you doing. You all right? You good today? And that's it. Like, that's it. What you doing this weekend? I'm not asking you for nothing in return. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. So.
Yeah, because they said where this topic kind of hit me at was, you know, I try to do stuff with my son, and it's always met with some kind of resistance or whatever. And then I was sitting there thinking about it. I'm going, okay, so now when my grandson becomes of that age, is my son now going to realize, holy shit, I kind of get what my dad was trying to do, but I didn't pick up on it.
Yeah.
You know? And then now you also had that dealing with that dynamic on his side too. And that's why I said, you don't recognize that relationship when somebody's trying to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want that relationship with your kids. You're trying, you get met with resistance. And eventually you're just kind of like, what am I supposed to do?
And see, I think it's a good point. It's a good talking point because I think a lot of things, the part about parenting that they don't tell you is that eventually they're going to leave, right? They're going to leave. And then it's like, you've devoted the last 18 plus years, you know, to this person's well-being. And now you wake up one day and now they're their own adult, their own human being. And it's like, well, you were just part of my identity for 18 years. I lost it. So when you left, I lost a piece of me. So like that's kind of like what you're dealing with. Like I'm used to seeing you. Hey, get up. You got to go to school. Hey, let me teach you how to drive. Hey, you know what I'm saying? All these firsts that you experienced through me. I remember those times. I'm trying to get some of those times back. But at the same time, his young mind is like, I'm out here. I'm trying to experience the world. I'm trying to see, you know, whatever the case may be. And that is the hard part of parenting. Because I think about it all the time. Like, yeah, like she's turning 7 this year. So I told her, I said, we got 11 years left. We got to enjoy them. Because when she's 18, it's completely in her court, how it goes. Like it could continue, it could not. It's all in her court.
I was thinking what you said, one thing they don't tell you either is your kids are going to hurt your feelings too.
All the time.
They're going to hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
I tell my wife all the time, I said, my daughter confirms to me daily that I ain't shit.
But yeah, like it popped in my head because I was with my son and my grandson, and I realized like, oh, okay, you know, I wish I had a better relationship with my son that I'm trying this year, you know, trying to do something different this year to try to build more of a relationship. But I feel in the same token, it's just going to fall on deaf ears. But then I sit there and think about it. Okay, now when my grandson gets of, you know, that 25-year-old age, and then my son is like, oh man, I can't believe this. And it's like, yeah, I was literally trying to do that too. And now you understand. You'd be like, oh yeah, you know, because you're looking at it from a different set of eyes. You know, that's what I said, you know, and like my mom, it was just my mom. I don't know how my mom wanted a relationship because again, I was young. I didn't see it, you know.
See, mine was weird because with my dad, he was there always and disciplinary and well, shit, sometimes he went there. He was doing his shit, but it was weird as I got old. I left. Like, I just bounced at like 17 and just like, I'm getting the fuck out of here and just moved out of state. And that was interesting because I just kind of like, I would come home every summer and all that and weekends every once in a while. But when I stopped coming home, that's when he would start visiting me. And that was cool. It was actually cool because I guess I was receptive to it. And like, he would just come hang out. And I was like, well, what's up? What you need? He's like, nothing. Just coming to kick it. Like,
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay,
Right.
this is cool.
And
but
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like they said, trying to do that with my son now more.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, over the years, I've been met with so much resistance that I'm realizing, like, okay, let me try a different technique now.
Yeah.
You know, let me start coming to you more often. Let me start coming into your world more often and being there on it.
And to be honest with you guys, like my game plan to combat that is just to fill her childhood with experiences. That's why, like you say, oh, you always taking her somewhere. Yeah, I want her to have. She's gonna know. Like when I was a kid, my parents poured into me. Like they made sure they gave me the best childhood they could give me. That's the whole goal. So, and we're just praying that, you know, when she becomes of age, she's appreciative and that she realizes that, yeah, we gave you the best childhood that we could. We sacrificed a lot of ourselves for you so that you could smile. Like we lived through your smiles. You know, we cried with your tears, and we know we champion for you. And we know a lot of times we put ourselves on the back burner for that. But this is also that we could keep this bond that we have together strong. You know?
Yeah. I'll be getting scared of that shit though. We be doing the most.
No, yeah.
The kids be thinking like this is what life is all the time.
Shit, right now, I'm mad at both my boys right now.
Why?
Because I text both of them, ain't never heard back. That was 2 days ago. I'm like, these damn fucking kids. You know?
We'll say that.
I mean, I'm guilty of that shit because
Hey,
sometimes
man,
you'll
what's
text
up?
me. Like sometimes Andy will text me times. I'll be like, nah, I'll read it and I'll be like, and I'll go do something like shit.
Right. But this
And then
ain't Phoenix texting you.
Yeah.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
I'm bad. I'm bad at texting back.
Right.
My dad was direct. Like if I didn't pick up, sometimes I get a call from my mom and I'll pick up and he'll be like, oh.
No. With me, I try to lean on the side of space and not be all internal liars are bugging because
Yeah. But
You
that
know?
was after me not calling
Yeah.
for like a week or two. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Oh, don't get
I
me
didn't
wrong.
even think about it.
don't get me wrong. After a week, I'll hit him with another text.
When you said that, Kevin, all I thought about was Stephen A. Smith explaining Kobe's voicemail. Hey, motherfucker, you know what it is. Better call me back.
So, the next topic: if they wrote a story or autobiography about your life, what would it be called and why?
Shit, nigga. That's probably what it's gonna be called. Shit.
I was thinking mine's gonna be called This Motherfucker.
I forgot what I said.
Why shit though?
Yeah, there's a lot of shit in
No,
there.
it's not shit. It's shit.
There's a lot of shit in there.
It's with the D.
Is that gonna be the cover too? You just leaning back on the chair like nigga? Let me tell you.
It might have to be somebody else. I'll go narrate this shit. Nah, just you know my attitude. Not anymore as much, but growing up, as I hit a certain point, there was a whole lot of fuck it. So my answer to a lot of doing things was, fuck it, let's see. So that led to a lot of tales. A lot of white people, so I did a lot of crazy shit too.
Yeah.
It's experience.
These are our bridge between
That
us-
world.
that world, yeah. Because
I don't know. I forgot what I said. I know I said some dumb ass.
do you want me to go back and look?
Nah, don't do that.
No,
No, just
You
y'all
sure?
go. I'll think of something else. Y'all go ahead.
What's it go? Mo is lethal.
Something about I'm a real nigga or something like that. He said.
Oh, the realist or something. I don't know. I'll put something. So I'll put something crazy. Don't ever take me serious when I answer the question right away.
Mm-hmm. I learned that a long time ago. Don't take you ever seriously.
Damn.
Let's see.
That sound personal.
Yeah, I know. Nigga always hating. I don't know.
It's a hard question because you sit there and you look back on your life and you try
That's
to get
exactly why I gave you guys some days.
you look back on your life and then you try to look back on your life from somebody else's perspective, like of your life. And me, I just think it just be saying this motherfucker shit, you know.
I thought you were gonna say they
I would say the title would be Overcomer
for him.
for me.
Okay.
Yeah, because my dark period dealing with my childhood trauma of not having my parents and my mom in my life, then dealing with the deaths and my 5-year depression spree and bouncing back and being where I'm at now. Like,
But we're also talking about your childhood as what you did in your childhood or what you did in your teens.
overcome. My childhood was not pretty. I had a lot of. When I say it's not pretty, it's like I had a lot of great times, but there were bad days, and there was clearly things going on that I, as a child, I couldn't process, but now I understand now what was going on, and so it's like it wasn't always good, but at the same time, it wasn't always bad. Like I had my grandparents provided for me the best they could, but internally, emotionally, I was always lacking because I wanted my parents. I wanted my parents.
I get that, but what I'm also what I'm trying to say too is your life, what you did. Like me, you look back on my life from when from like the high school to like adulthood. I started racing cars, tagging.
I wasn't doing. I was
as somebody
normal,
from an outside perspective look in, going, damn, what the fuck were you doing with your life,
I was doing normal.
But then you level out and straighten out, and
I was doing normal kid shit. I was playing in the street.
At 17?
Not at 17.
I said look back
saying,
in your life.
You know what I'm saying? Like middle school years, I was heavy in BMX, doing off ramps and jumps and shit. I never was really a skater. I was always honestly, like from like maybe 4th grade to 8th grade, I was always on my bike. That was my thing. I'm on my bike, I'm pedaling somewhere, like I'm going. Like, and that was part of that was my escape. Like just getting out, riding, seeing different things, just not being because my whole philosophy used to be like, I can't think about what I'm lacking or what I'm missing if I'm not in this space. So I'm gonna just hop on my bike and leave. Because if I'm on my bike and leave, I'm thinking about what's in front of me, what's around me. I'm riding up to the park, playing
but
ball.
Did you go to a place and find a bike better than yours and steal it and walk with that?
No,
see, that's the shit I did.
Not that, but I'm saying
your book should be called "Thank God I'm Free" or "Thank God I'm Alive" or something like that. You tagging, racing, stealing.
What came to mind was 7 days. Sheets.
You know what his shit's gonna be called? The Delinquent.
Yeah.
That's
but in the same token, you start my childhood, but then when you factor in my adulthood,
you were still a delinquent.
Yes.
Until like 30.
Or my favorite phrase from one of the last episodes of the podcast, I am nasty, huh? Like,
and that's what you said. Looking back, it's like if somebody really dug into it, if you took your whole life and made a movie about it and then told somebody to write a book report about it, what would that book report really be like?
Cap for me. I'd be lying my ass off in that. If it was a movie, I'd be like, man, I was like 7'2", and
it's like, you ever hear that term, write your own obituary?
Huh?
Write your own obituary?
Yeah.
I don't care about that stuff.
But I was going to ask, I'm going to add on to this because I asked you. So what do you think the cover would look like?
Honestly, it'd probably be little boy Maurice. When I was like, sad I remember this. I was like 4. I had you remember those little engines you pull with the string and then had the blocks on it? I love that goddamn toy. And this is why when I see my dad, I always trigger myself. It was one time I was with my dad, I had that with me, and I was pulling it, and we were getting on the bus. I think we're on Vermont. We're about to go on the bus, and I'm little. I'm not walking fast enough, so the bus about to leave, and he pulls me, and one of my block falls off the train. And I'm like, oh no, my block. He's like, leave the damn block. And so I'm looking at my block as the bus away. And I'm like, and I tell him that never happened. I said, nigga, it happened. Because I remember like it was yesterday, and it hurt still. And you owe me a goddamn block.
It's so funny that you say that too, because as adults, we forget what really hurts our kids that we end up bringing it back. We're like, that didn't happen. And like, you have to accept the fact, like, yeah, that did happen.
That happened.
Oh, I didn't bring that shit up with my dad.
So it'd be me.
You don't remember this shit?
So it'd probably my cover would probably be me on 74 from Vermont in front of churches pulling the goddamn train.
That's cute.
That's
cute.
deep.
You know what I saw? I saw like Lil Wayne's cover with a little kid body with your grown ass face on it.
All right, moving on. Does the diva?
I think I'd name my book First Feel It and Then Heal It, because I'm at a stage where I realize a lot of things that I had going on in my early adulthood, in my childhood, I never stopped to feel what was happening. I just kept going. Mm-hmm. And it has caused me to have things now at almost 40 that I need to actually take a step back and heal. So I would name it that.
So do you feel like you were forced to grow up faster then? That's
I
my
think
take.
so.
You were forced to grow up faster
I
than
think so. And then my cover, I think it'd be me on a swing sitting next to my child self. Because it's literally at this stage of life, me and my inner child battling to heal.
Mhm.
That's deep.
Oh, my cover will be like a dark cloud, thunder with the sun with a mountain in the middle, just kind of both up at the same time, just kind of transitioning from one to another.
Okay.
Is it chaos?
Yes.
Apocalypse.
It's just,
Yes.
There's the darkness before the light kind of situation,
And then
That
did
makes
you say your
sense.
name for your?
Hmm?
Did you say
He
the
said
name
he
for
said this motherfucker.
this one? I can see that. Oh, another one you could have said. I don't know what you fucking.
Sugar.
Booger sugar.
And yeah, the story of Booger Sugar. Anyway, for me, it'd be reject the unfamiliar.
Part 2?
I'd just be reject the unfamiliar. The life and
Part
times
2.
of
Part 2?
of Andy Robbins.
No, I'm just saying, are we gonna get part 2?
Maybe not. And the cover would be. You said BMX bike and it triggered me. It would be me. I have this picture when I was 5, and my mom, she was addicted to drugs, and so when she would come in town, she would stay at this Motel 6 in downtown Riverside. It's right. It used to be right by where the Greyhound station was, the depot, and there was a Motel 6 there, and I remember my dad got me a BMX bike, and I used to ride that around that parking lot. And I remember there was a picture of me on the bike, smiling like the biggest cheese because I got that bike, and it'd probably be that picture because I remember just that childhood was fucked up, and I never saw any structure as far as with my parents. So like those little small things like they getting that BMX bike and being able to just ride around that parking lot and feel like a fucking superstar. And I watch Ninja Turtles all fucking day. The movie Ninja Turtles, and I just watched this shit all day on VHS nonstop. And I remember feeling like $1 million sitting in that Motel 6.
What's up?
You gotta make me think of some shit. And I don't even know, like, it's funny because I was sad in the moment. And now I look at it and I'm like, that motherfucker, man. Like, I think it was Father's Day. I made a sandwich and all this shit for my dad. Thought that was cool. Got some cashews and all that shit. Ain't that wild how your memory makes you remember a little shit like that?
Yeah.
And then I just remember that motherfucker, like, picked the argument with my mom. And I was about to give him the sandwich. And I remember seeing that nigga through the kitchen window just walking down the street somewhere. And I was like, oh, this nigga's leaving. And I was sad, but now I look at it, I'm like, that motherfucker, like, he wasn't even mad. He probably should try to step out.
To kind of touch on everything Mary said. So I saw my wife told me about something the other day, and it kind of like what she said makes sense. So basically, the lady was saying like, like millennial parents, like we like sometimes question our kids because they don't have like the maturity we had at their level, and we think there's something wrong with them. He said no. No, she was like, no. The problem is that we're actually allowing our kids to have childhoods.
Yes.
And that's why they don't have like we had to be adults. Like we had to, don't let nobody in this house.
With that whole latchkey.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I remember saying that at 6.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't open the door for nobody.
Don't cut the stove on. You know what I'm saying? Like we have responsibilities that we weren't supposed to have, but we're allowing our kids to just be kids, and it's hard for us to be like, how you don't get this? They don't understand it because they haven't had the adversity that we've had growing up. And when I thought about it, that actually made me look at my daughter a whole lot differently. Yeah, like it does make sense. Like she ain't got the struggle.
Right. It's like when
An
Dad.
actual child.
Yeah.
Is when Dad said earlier about, I was forced to grow up quicker. As like you said, in our generation, we were all forced to grow up quicker.
Yes.
We would look back in some of the other kids and be like, damn, you were able to do that?
Yeah.
But no, we were all forced to grow up quicker, do things that we weren't.
Yeah.
And this generation of kids more expressive with how they're feeling. We didn't have that luxury.
Yeah.
So we had to be the adult, but shut up about it.
Right.
It didn't matter how you feel. You had to do what you was told.
yeah.
Right.
It wasn't. It didn't. It was, we worry about your feelings. When we got time to get around to it, which we
Right.
don't have time to get around to.
Exactly.
And that's why from where I see how my mom was, and see how I was, and see how my kids was, and see how my grandkid is, I see that whole transition.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it now. Because our parents were like, "What?
Yeah.
Did you don't talk until
No.
I acknowledge you."
Yeah.
But you said what your
You
kids,
said it, then you just triggered me under because I had a thing like it used to irritate the fuck out of me. So the way I was raised, like as a child, you walk in a room, you address you say hi to all adults.
Mhm.
It's just a thing of respect, right? So when I was older and people used to come in and not acknowledge me in my house, I'd be like, "Get your disrespectful ass out of my house." It used to trigger me, like, and I'm like, "Oh, they just different. It's not how like." And I was raised like. Even to this day, like you don't just walk in somebody's house and open the refrigerator. You don't no, you ask for every single thing. So nowadays, I understand kids are different because when I I think at my birthday party when in Jersey with the refrigerator, I looked at them like, "You little motherfucker!" I was like, "Yeah, you can have one, but you gotta ask for it." You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I understand like it's just like it's not the same as us. Like because back then like. Whatever was in the refrigerator, we had to make that had to work. That had to stretch. So that might you got to make sure you ask because we might have no money on Friday to re-up what's in here, right? So I thought about that, and then I thought about Andy in 5th grade. I actually got. Remember when they used to sell those bikes, but they had that plastic motorcycle frame? I got one of those.
I got one of those bikes too, and I took that motherfucker right the fuck back. I think I had it for like 2 days, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Because all it had was the motorcycle sounds, and I was like, "It's still a fucking bike." So I just like it's my fucking back. Like, what the fuck is this? Like,
You still had to pedal it.
yeah, like it was like I'm all like, "Look at me, I'm the cool kid on the block with the motorcycle bike," and you like, if this ain't no piece of like when you hit that button, all you hear is a rev engine, like.
The bad part, don't they still make that now?
No, they make them. They're like cars. They're like motorcycles now. Cost about $2,000.
So with the e-bikes.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
So
Yeah, but
anyway,
like you're saying, but I had, like I said, I have a lot of good memories. I got some effed up ones, but I got quite a few good memories too.
that's what's up. So the next segment is questions from the people. This comes from Sharon. Wants to know the thoughts on dating a single mom. How do men regulate their emotions? And how long does it take in a relationship to know if that person's the one?
Damn.
I don't get to regulate your emotions
How do men regulate their emotions?
when it comes to a single mom.
That's like
Just in general.
that's like 3 questions in one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause-
I'm trying to. This is a 3-part
Yes,
question. So
3 different questions.
So let's take it part. Let's take it part by part.
Yeah.
So first,
okay.
so the single
Dating a single mom.
I've been with the same one for 20 years. I don't know what dating like. I mean, I guess she is. I mean, I date her. She's my wife. She is a mom.
So you're trying to break it down to say that you.
What
She's not single. I would say I would say if you're dating a single mom, you have to understand and respect her boundaries and the boundaries of the child because you can't separate the two. So you're gonna have to be in the mindset of she may not always be available. She may not always be
that's the good
okay.
moms though.
Okay, in your reality, right? She may not be always be capable of giving me or right of giving me the attention that I require in a relationship. But these are just things like you got to understand. Like it's a package deal. So if you're willing to deal with that, then I mean it's up to you. As long as y'all vibing and everything's consensual, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
I have dated many single moms, and I have seen the whole spectrum of good parenting and bad parenting. And it's really weird. No lie, because you understand. You also got to take the grasp that this person can't spend time with you, but then you also run across another single mom where they dedicate all their time to you, and not their kids.
You like her?
That's a red.
No, I'm saying I've been in both those things to where it's that way, So it's like, will you date a single mom? I don't actually have no objections to dating a single mom but as a man, you also got to understand what you're going to get into with dating a single mom, So it's a toss up to me. You know, everybody throws out the good scenario, or like, oh no, you got to understand, you're second. You know, the kids come first, but then again, you can be the single mom who's like, kids are always at grandma's house. She out there running around with you. You having sex with the kid in the bed next to you.
That's some wild shit. Kevin,
I don't even want to sit by you. No, what the hell?
That only happened once.
And you did it? I'm tired of you.
The kid?
It don't matter.
I want to say no older than 1.
That makes more sense.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm
glad you married because you damn sure don't need to date nobody's single mama.
Shit.
I'll say as a story.
I can't
I
make like my
remember
kids. They know what we're doing.
I went on a date with a girl that was a single mom. I didn't, and I felt like now, like when you look back on it, you realize what the fuck might have been going on. But she had brought her daughter with her, us randomly. Like we met up at Starbucks, and so it was kind of like a meet and greet type thing. And she was like, "Oh, so this is my situation. I'm a mom. This is my daughter." And then she just went out to let me know. Yeah, she was from a one night stand. I said, "Oh fuck, this is a lot of information for the first."
Divulge that information.
Yeah, like it was a one night stand that went. You know, they were just hooking up once, and now there's a kid in the situation. And I'm like, she broke this all down with me the first time we met, and I don't know if she was trying to scare me off or like gauge.
Well, I mean, looking back on it now, I would look at it as more as letting you know that the guy is not in the picture.
Yes.
Yeah,
Or she's laying it
she
out.
fertile.
It's a little quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's laying it out.
Let you know.
I was just curious. I was like, was she trying to scare me off or like gauge how we react?
Because you got to remember that whole single mom, how many people she's dated before you and talked to, where she could say something and the conversation just ends, and now she's gotten to the point where she's like, I'm streamlining this shit.
Just get it out in the way. Let's get it out in the open.
Right. Yeah. You know?
To me, with dating single mom, I feel like when you go into that scenario, you gotta be going in with the thought of longer term.
I mean, make it personal because you went through that.
No, that's what I'm saying. You got to go in with that thought.
Okay.
Like, because you're not like that's kind of fucked up if you meet the kid and then you're just in and out. You know what I mean? So
That's how I felt like when she brought. I was like, well, you don't know if
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
like worth, meeting the kid. Like you don't want the kid to get attached to like.
yeah. Because like I always tell you guys that like I wasn't getting unemployment from another state while I was working here or living here and then when I met Amanda, and I was like, okay, I can't just be this unemployed motherfucker. Like, gotta take care of some shit.
You know, when you said that, it made me think of something. We also got to take into fact age. Dating a single mom who's a single mom at 20 versus dating a single mom who's one at 30 and your age even inside of that circle too. Because when a guy is 20 and a woman is 20 and she's already a single mom, you're not really thinking about all the aspects of a parent. But when you're now 35 and now you meet a single mom, you understand that there's more responsibilities even in that yourself to where you be a little more objective about it.
Because I was 18, I was like, what the fuck?
Right. Because at that age, you don't really care that they're a single mom. You're more like, you're going to do what you're going to do. And,
I was never that way.
No.
I was just kind of throwing like, you trust you don't know who the fuck I am. Like, you don't know if I'm.
Well, she brought the kid with her. She didn't leave you.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just saying as far as I didn't want, like.
Because I've heard different ways about meeting the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And like I heard one person say that they got that out of the way quick.
Why though?
And it made sense the way they explained it. They're like, well, we could have waited like forever, like a long ass time. And then the shitty part is once you do that, you get too invested. And then you guys meet and the kid and the other one don't mesh.
Yeah.
Then you have a problem. Because it's like now you're invested, you have love, but
the kids
that shit ain't going to work because,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You can't have that dynamic where
But
they don't vibe, I guess, or get along or whatever.
But to his point, when I understand, like you said, people go, "Oh, why do you introduce a kid so fast?" I go, "You're looking at it from your point of view. From the kid's point of view, all that kid knows is you're there to whatever reason. You know, they don't know the whole logistics of why you're there. That you could be a friend, you could be anybody. They don't know the logistics at that point. But it is a thing to determine how you are with kids and how your kid is going to be with you. You know, because that's that dynamic that mom's going to have to deal with. You know, because right off the bat, that kid could just be like, don't like you at all. And that could sway her whole decision.
Yeah.
You know, and then some kids embrace somebody, you know. So I see that. And I would get it out of the way too, because then we're back to the whole point. Be upfront about everything. Yeah. You know?
I didn't meet my stepson for a few months.
All right.
Yeah,
But
like 2 months.
I can also see why people don't go down that road.
Right. I see what you said. I see what some wait. I see why some do it.
Yeah,
you all have your personal
because it's
preference
like,
on how you want to do it.
I can understand like you being involved with a young lady and she has a kid, and now you guys are together 2-3 years. Now you got attachment to this kid, but when she leaves, the kid leaves.
Yeah.
It's like hold on, I
both
broke.
ways,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So it, like I can see that. I can see why people like I don't want to like, because like on one end, like if I go in and I'm talking to a young lady and she got a kid, now I'm basically cultivating two relationships at the same time.
Absolutely.
But now since I break this one off, I lose this one. So it's like now I'm double hurt from from the situation. So I can see why people avoid it.
But that to me, when you go into that scenario, you have to put yourself into the situation of, it don't necessarily have to be like, this is it. But I'm like, you have to look at it in the sense of, I'm not just dating this girl just to like fuck around. Like, you know what I mean? You have to.
Yeah, but 20-year-old is, but 35-year-old ain't.
That's fine. I'm just saying, like, from my perspective, how I see it. Like,
what was the second part?
The second part is how do men regulate their emotions?
I don't know, beat off shit.
I mean, that's
His mic off.
that seems kind of vague, because what emotions are you talking about? Happiness, joyness, sadness?
I mean, they're all in the spectrum of
Emotion.
emotions.
You know, but you're all going to handle them all different, though,
Yeah,
too.
I'll say
Some
it
people do
depends.
video games, all that shit.
Mhm.
You know,
You
I
know?
do. I've chosen different paths. I'm just gonna use
I will say
masturbation as a
I
tool.
will say for me,
I was going to say, did you stop using it? You just ain't going to tell us.
I'm just not gonna say it anymore.
I will say for me, like with the motorcycle did help me a lot, like because it is a way to clear your head. You're not thinking about, so whether you're sad, if you're sad, angry, you had an effed up day, you're just upset. Like it is kind of like a freeing experience, right? So that was one way. The gym is another way. You know what I'm saying? When you mad, you mad, you got some aggression, go push some weights. Like that helps a lot. I mean, there's different, like you said, Hunter, it depends on what the emotion is. Like we're not going to do one thing for everything.
Yeah.
Just how like women don't do one thing for everything. We get the emotion out in different ways.
I want to ask Kevin, have you ever written jokes angry?
No.
I tend to write better music angry.
Say less. I'll piss you off
I
purposely.
feel like
Don't. Then it's all gonna be aimed at you and directed.
It's okay.
Like,
It's like, hey, what'd you say? As long as we get the bars?
nah.
My jokes come out better when I'm mad too.
Yeah. See, it's like when you're creating, and like I think
I get petty when I'm
I
mad.
am hilarious when I'm
it
pissed.
depends.
Yeah, like-
I get petty when I'm
Just
mad.
say-
I'm petty.
Because you're writing jokes from, you can't have them all be angry, but I don't know. I don't think I generally have angry stand-up, so it would be weird coming from an angry place. Like, what the fuck? You was mad? You wrote this? But
could be a whole different set.
Is the writing jokes a way you handle your emotions?
no.
It's not a calming thing.
No. I haven't written in a while, which is shitty and it sucks. But no. Joke writing is not a release for me. It's a dump, if that makes sense.
Number one, number two.
Well, hopefully it's two, because that means shit.
I just had to ask.
You know, you made me think of something. We're all sitting here talking about the emotions, but we're all gearing it towards sad emotions.
No, we're not. We just
I
started with
just
anger.
said anger.
Well,
What? No, that's what I mean. Anger,
Anger's not sad.
anger, sadness. We're not. How do you deal with your happy emotions?
Yeah, we haven't got there yet.
You know,
It
How do
depends.
you do what you're
That
happy?
depends on why I'm happy. Because
But
if I'm just in a good mood and I'm happy like that, and my wife walked by,
But the question to me, do you deal with happy?
I mean, it
You
is
don't
an
really
emotion.
deal with it, or do you just
I
embrace
mean,
it?
it is an emotion.
You don't-
But you embrace it.
Yeah,
You don't
you
deal
It's
with
one of
it.
the ones you kind of just.
How do I deal with all this happiness? Like, what the fuck?
Right? You know?
I-
You happy, goddamn.
I think
I'm just so happy. What do I do? Like,
I think you like when it comes to like happiness and joy, you live in that. You're living in that. That's not. I feel like the only emotions that you would define as feeling are the negative ones,
Mhm.
because all the positive ones you're living in the moment, and they're not. And since they're affecting you a positive way, you don't feel like they're. It's more like they're enhancing. Enhancing your mood, not.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I can say that.
I know. I
You
fucked
say
it.
He put it.
Yeah, I did.
He put a whole different spin on
Yeah,
it. But I was gonna rock with
We
it. I was like,
understood you.
this nigga's Idris
You
Elba
been a
today. I
hunter?
don't know. Like, what? I'm just gonna let him rock. Like, hey,
Yeah.
all right,
Understood you.
Idris, I see you.
Well,
What?
So I guess I won't say dealing with happiness, but what I enjoy with happiness is sharing it.
Yeah.
So that's what I get more. I get more happiness out of more people enjoying the happiness that I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
If that makes it's not just to myself.
Yeah, I know you bring it up because we really don't think about it. We think about what we
Yeah,
do when
'cause
we're
you're
mad and
enjoying
angry,
it,
but we
yeah.
don't think about what we
You-
do when we're actually
Yeah,
happy.
you enjoy happiness.
Like
you're
you said,
not.
you're enhancing it.
Yeah, you're enhancing.
did you answer, McCoy?
No, I haven't. I just thought I'm angry. When I'm angry, I
You're
write
back.
better angry. But and I'm not dealing with the happiness of fucking. I'm just fucking. So I don't deal. Yeah, like
ain't
they said, I
dealing.
don't deal with that.
Mhm.
You just enjoy it. But it's with emotionals. Honestly, I try to process what's going on depending on the circumstance. I do notice I use things to get myself out of my own mind as a way to regulate certain emotions. So if I know I'm angry, or if I know what particular thing is making me angry, I'm gonna stay the fuck away from what's making me angry and go try to fixate on something else to make me get off of the thought process of why that's making me angry. Like, so like if I know Maurice does this a lot too. When you detach from, like, say the work's pissing you off, you might not just go for work for a few days to get the fuck away from what's pissing you off. So, and I think I see it a lot. I've had this conversation recently. A lot of the guys that I knew growing up, they had a horrible time processing some things. So they would take it out on the woman they dated. And I never co-signed a rock with that. Like when I literally had and it's funny because I was friends with both people in the relationship. And she told me after they broke up what was happening. And I was like, fuck. And that happened multiple times. And it was the guys, and seeing I knew how their personalities were, I knew I was okay. These two dudes similarly have similar backgrounds, but I noticed they had a horrible time regulating their emotions. So this one would beat his wife or girlfriend physically, and this one would verbally be abusive to his girlfriend.
And what age was that at? I'm kind of curious.
I want to say early 30s for them.
Okay.
So it's like but I knew him in high school. So like when you see them and you're like, all right, I remember how I used to talk to your mom, and both of them. No, one of them came from. Well, no, both of them, because there's multiple now. I'm thinking about it, but the two that I'm thinking in particular were raised by single mothers, and I'm thinking like you would think they would have more respect because their mother went out of their way. But then I think about how they used to talk to them when I was around them. I'm like, nigga, my mom would, slap the fuck out. But like you see it, and then you see it, and it's like they had a horrible time regulating their emotions when it came to. Even when we would play basketball or something, they're like, "Oh, I'm getting cheated, nigga. We're playing. This isn't a video game. We're playing basketball." You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you're literally saying that you can't process losing, then that means you get angry about that. You have a horrible time regulating what the fuck's going on. Like,
Right.
if you're saying you're getting cheated and we're playing the same game, you know what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense to me. How you like if we have the same rules are in front of us, we're playing the same game. You see, I'm not slighting you in any way. You can't then get pissed off and be angry and say, you're cheating me. What are you getting cheated at?
I think that answers a lot of the question, because I think a lot of men go into that where what you sound like you're explaining is one, insecurity, and then two, that other part is motherfuckers don't know how to take accountability.
Oh
That's
God.
true.
Like where you're like, you're
Yes,
cheating me.
that's
Like,
very true.
No,
Very
nigga,
true.
you suck. Like,
Yes.
like, what are you talking
But
about?
anyway, going back to I would see where they would get really angry and how they talk to their moms, and then I saw how they ended up in these relationships, and then the woman would say, "Oh, these motherfuckers are when they get angry now they're using.
What do you mean talk to their
You
mom?
almost sound like
they talk
spoiled.
bad to their
They
moms?
were spoiled, yeah, but one of them was
they
one was, I would say, wasn't like he was more fair, like he kind of just had an understanding with mom. He was just a super logical guy.
Yeah.
The other one was just he would talk shit like bad to his mom, and I'm looking at him like, nigga, you crazy? Like,
Was this a white dude or a black
yes,
dude? Okay.
yeah. But I didn't want to bring race into it after last episode.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I just was like, yeah, I'm not gonna say race, but you know, when I looked, I'm like, nigga, like that's your mom, like you just gonna like I'm like in front of me, like he was like, the fuck, like, okay, but like then you see the relationship they end up in, and you're like, okay, now that it kind of is consistent with what I've seen before with how you deal with women. So it's like that regulating emotion shit. Because I even had one of them in particular pulled up on my doorstep, and I was always angry with my dad for that shit because he ended up homeless and came to my doorstep.
Oh, yeah.
And the only reason why he got to my doorstep because they shared a common interest. Him and my dad smoked weed together. So this nigga used that as a way to get, and was like, hey, where's your son at? Yeah. Oh, well, you guys are friends, and he came to my fucking doorstep trying to find a way to, hey, can I stay here for a few days? No, the fuck you can't. Yeah, no. That's crazy. Then I tried to help him out with a friend that was willing to let him stay for rent. Nigga had an attitude with me. I almost whooped his ass. But it was one of them things where he caught an attitude with me over, like, nigga, this isn't my shit to figure out. So, like, anyway, I'm saying, getting back to the whole point, this regulating I witness and see how people do shit, and I don't rock with it. I feel like you said, with accountability and all that, take accountability for your actions, but at the same token, be able to regulate what the fuck that you got going on with yourself. Find your vices or whatever you need to escape whatever is angering you, but don't take it out on other people to do so. So, me, I've always looked at it like, look, if I'm pissed off about something and I know I'm going to have angry, I'm going to stay the fuck away from you because I'm not lashing out at you for it. Yeah. That's my shit to figure out, not you.
Or understand that it's fine to be fucking mad.
Yeah, but just don't be like, fuck you.
Because I'll do that with Amanda, where it's like, we have some shit, and I'm like, look, I'm not happy right now. Like, this ain't the time to have this conversation.
But when you can acknowledge it, that's dope. And that's, like you said, taking accountability for it and being able to say, oh, look, like, I'm pissed off, and acknowledge that you're pissed off. So
how you feeling?
When I'm mad, I try not to talk.
Because you cut.
Yeah, because my initial response is going to be some hurtful, petty shit.
Yeah.
What sign are you?
The best sign there is.
Oh, a Leo?
Oh, a Virgo.
He must be a Gemini.
See, look, we all got answers. No. But, it's weird when you guys say that. My anger and mad and being mad, it revolves strictly on what's happening at that moment. Mm-hmm. I will drop it after a while. But if I'm mad at that moment, like if I get angry from work, that car ride home is going to be where I get my release by the time I get home. Yeah, if I'm at home and I'm mad, either I will stay in my home. I don't ever go out. I'm not one of those people who get mad and jump onto the road and start doing shit. No, I'll stay in the house and handle my anger that way. We're either watching TV or just listening to music. And when I'm mad, when I was younger, though, I would actually go out into the streets and start shit.
Start painting, start spraying.
No, graffiti was always a happiness. I would more likely just randomly hit people and try to start fights or throw shit through windows and break shit and, Yeah.
So with that being said, this has been episode 140 of the Heavyweight Podcast. Again, I am your antisocial host, Stutter McFly, with this lady and these three guys.
I was
curious. Jorge.
No. I was that dude. Not that dude, huh? I want to say nigga, but I already said it. That nigga from Curious Jorge.
It's your boy Molito the Grouch.
Y'all in the N-word. Hey, they call me Hunter.
Y'all know there's the diva.
And we appreciate you. We rock with you. Thank you for listening. And we will finish that third part of that question as well. Just stay tuned. Like, subscribe, comment, share. But, we're going to get to those questions. Trust me. We keep talking and run out of time. I'm sorry for venting and ranting. So, anyway, peace. Love you.
Nigga.
It's a wrap. That's all she wrote, folks. Thanks for tuning in once again. You can check us out on all streaming platforms. Click like, subscribe, leave some comments. You know what I'm saying? Is it Monday yet? Hello. Every Monday you got new episodes, so tune in. Have a blessed one.